Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What video game is an absolute 100 and 100ths in your opinion? Age of Empires 2. It has stood the test of time. This weekend the biggest tournament ever sponsored by Red Bull will start. Crazy to say that when talking about a greater than 20-year-old game. Edit. Wow, I did not expect so much liked and reactions. Great to see so many people agree with me and are enjoying this game. To answer some of the most asked questions, comments, how do you watch the tournament? I think starting tomorrow you search a form the Red Bull Twitch channel. Probably you can find it just searching AOE2 on Twitch. Can you still buy this game? Yes, it's on Steam. Be sure to get AOE2, that's the definitive edition. It still gets regular updates and has a very active player base. Also there are tons of single-player campaigns. You are just a shill for Red Bull. Nope. I don't drink Red Bull and find it disgusting. But it is still cool that they are sponsoring it, that's why I mentioned them. Insert game is also old but better. I really enjoy other older games as well. It doesn't have to be just one game. But for me AOE2 is the one that I just keep going back to and keep playing. Have fun everyone. Be sure to give it a try and get some nice nostalgia feelings. Man, I was like 15 and my uncle showed me this game. I would always beat him badly when we played Red Alert and at first I was destroying him at AOE2. But he just kept practicing. He had sheets of notes he had made. Like he literally would test how much damage everything did and ran races of different units too. Test speeds and had notes of everything. We would play and he would lay all these notes on the table he would set up at. It was insane but it worked. He started beating me every damn time we would play. I'm convinced he's like a top ranked player and won't tell me lol. Is your uncle spirit of the law? Roller Coaster Tycoon. Used to play it back in elementary school. Still play it to this day using OpenRCT. And it was coded in assembly. Still blows my mind. For those who don't know, coding in assembly is like building a house. But not starting by buying lumber to frame it. But by mining metal so you can refine it into a saw blade so you can use the saw blade to cut down the tree and mill it into lumber. Then doing the same to forge your hammer and nails, etc. all the way to finally build a house. For those unaware, layman, this means that the entire game, a cult classic that has stood the test of time, was written line by line with zero help or source references, other than those the developer created for that program, in a language that was not intended for that purpose. It is a very old, in computer terms, language that it directly rooted in the first computers ever created. It is the coding equivalent of writing an entire orchestra performance without even knowing what a violin sounds like, an immense undertaking that very few developers would even bother to do. Portal 2. Somehow they made the perfect game even better. Valve really did slide and drop some absolute bangers and then refuse to elaborate. Age of Empires 2, especially in its current state. They've done a remarkable job with the new updates. The graphics look great, the gameplay is as good as ever, and the entire game feels incredibly balanced. The fact that so many people still love and play this 20-plus-year-old game is remarkable in itself. This just makes me hate Blizzard even more for what they did to StarCraft, Edit, and Warcraft, and Diablo, and basically all of their IP. It's crazy how StarCraft and Warcraft went from being the RTSs to all but disappearing. Portal 2, isn't that obvious? Half-Life and Portal's games are masterpieces of their own, absolutely. Deleted. Super Mario 64, game was a revolution, and is still fun today. Growing up we made it to 119 stars, never did find that last one. If still got the 64, need to set it up and get back into it. Super Mario, Super Smash Bros., and GoldenEye is what me and my brothers lived off growing up. My guess is it's the star for going down the princess slide in under 20 seconds. Zelda, A Link to the Past. Ocarina of Time is my all-time favorite. Hey, listen, fuck the water level. Super Mario World, the perfect Mario game and gave me many hours of joy to this day. I used to draw the star map in math class to flirt with the girl in front of me. It didn't work. Her loss. The girl you like was in another castle. Stardew Valley, for the work of one guy initially and the amount of content updated for free, this is my pick. I have it on all my devices and play frequently, truly an escapism game. Knights of the Old Republic. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes and my first awards ever. It is indeed 100 and 100ths, but Karth doesn't want to talk about that. Look, why don't we just get back to the task at hand? But on a more serious note, when he finally tells the story about his wife, I felt really bad for prying. Need for Speed Underground 2. Open world and a great soundtrack makes for some real core memories here. Riders on the Storm with Snoop, right? BioShock, from the beginning in the ocean and going down to Rapture. A failed libertarian society full of mutants and little sisters to save. I wish I could experience it for the first time again. My only complaint about BioShock is that I wish there was more of it. The saddest thing about BioShock is that after Infinite the team broke down to work on mobile games. With in-game purchases because of how profitable they were. Sad. Really, probably the best single-player game I've ever played. Even Infinite, which was polarizing, I thought was great. Edit. My bad. It appears I was wrong regarding the reason the team broke down. In my defense, I was in my 20s when this happened and I remember hearing about this in a couple of gaming podcasts. So this is where my source comes from. Maybe it happened to the people who Kevin didn't bring with him. But anyway, sorry.